Welcome back, Bronco fans. I'm Aaron.Gelvin, and this is your sports update. The UCO men's basketball team saw their season end over the weekend, falling 91-74 against Upper Iowa in the first round of the NCAA Division II Men's Basketball Championship Tournament. It was a huge game for Isaiah Wade in what would turn out to be his final game in a Bronco uniform, as he scored 30 points and grabbed 11 rebounds. Callan Hayden added 19 points and 5 dimes, but it wasn't enough for the Broncos, who fell behind early and trailed by 21 going into the locker room, and even a strong second half where they outscored the Peacocks by 4 points wasn't enough. As you can see all around me, no breaks in this winter storm as of yet, which means no school yesterday, no school today, and no school tomorrow. But there was action on the hardwood for your UCO men's and women's basketball teams last night. Coach Joe Van's team continued their impressive run, building off of a strong indoor season, and after having to cancel a game on Friday due to weather, they'll be back in action against old conference foe Northeastern State this Friday right here at home in Edmond. Construction continues on the newly renamed Chad Richardson Stadium, as all of the renovations will hopefully be in place for the 2022 UCO football season. It will be the first for the Broncos under new head coach Adam Dorrell. Snow on the ground means campus is closed. School is canceled for today. One thing that is still going on is UCO basketball, men's and women's basketball, in action tonight at the Hamilton Fieldhouse against Central Missouri. You can see an empty baseball diamond behind me. That's because we just finished up a game here on campus in Edmond between your UCO baseball team and Missouri Southern. Missouri Southern was victorious in this game 18-7, and they swept the series with the Broncos 3-0. UCO's next two games are against Northeastern State and Southern Nazarene University coming up.
The women's tennis team finished as the runners-up at the ITA Indoor National Championships, a tournament they hosted at the Edmond Center Court. The Broncos were in the championship match thanks to a thrilling upset of number 2 Indianapolis in the semifinal round. Here's Joe Van, the coach of the team, talking about the team's run.
It was a good start to the season to really kind of get used to the surface and be able to implement a lot of our new game styles, try out our new doubles tactics, and it went really well. We played really solid tennis leading all the way up to the tournament, national indoors. Once we got to national indoors, the girls really went ahead and put it all together. They capitalized and seized on the moment.
But it was the number 1 seeded Barry University Buccaneers that once again took home the championship after defeating UCO 4-0.
It would have been really great to obviously be able to bring home the national championship, but we ran into a tough team that is Barry University. But leading up to that, being able to beat Columbus, being able to beat the number 2 team in the University of Indianapolis, we showed real fight. We showed real gut, being able to stick it out and just finish the match overall.
UCO's season doesn't end there, however, according to Coach Van.
We start the outdoor season. Tomorrow we start our first practices outside, and then that'll take us into next week. We have 2 opponents in southeastern Oklahoma and Angelo State, both nationally ranked teams, so it'll be good to see kind of where we stand, getting our feet wet outside. And then after that, it starts up conference, and everything starts marching towards the MIAAs and regionals and NCAAs outside. So we're really looking forward to it.
The Broncos have 8 conference duels scheduled in March and April. From Edmond, I'm Aaron.Gelvin, UCentral News Sports. It's been an up-and-down season for the UCO baseball team in 2022. The team has settled in over their first few series and has had its share of peaks and valleys. For instance, there was a tough road trip to Colorado and a series with MSU Denver in early February, where the Broncos won only 1 game and gave up 24 runs in total. How did they respond to that? By outscoring their next 2 opponents, East Central and Southern Nazarene, by a combined score of 28-9, leading into another 3-game series with Missouri Western that they won 2-1. Here's UCO's Kobe Grimsley on the team's attitude when adversity strikes.
Last night we got beat, and we're expected to come out this game and I mean, just overcome adversity from last night and showing what we got.
UCO had another important series with MIAA foe Rogers State that they also won 2-1 over the weekend. Their next conference opponent is Missouri Southern, who will visit the Broncos Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From Edmond, I'm Aaron.Gelvin, UCentral News, Sports.
But the Los Angeles Rams decided to go with an all-in approach to try and win a championship right now, possibly sacrificing future assets in order to win big in the present. They traded with the Detroit Lions for quarterback Matthew Stafford, and their plan came to fruition last night in Super Bowl 56 as they defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20 in SoFi Stadium. The Rams became the second team in a row to win a Super Bowl in their own stadium after Tampa Bay did so last year. Now let's check on the highlights from a game that was close throughout. The Rams jumped to a lead early as two first-half touchdown passes from Stafford had LA ahead at the break. Odell Beckham Jr. and Cooper Kupp were the recipients of those touchdowns, but later in the first half, Beckham Jr. was injured, forcing Kupp to step up even more in the passing game. Coming out of the locker room, however, it was the Bengals who took control of the game. This long pass to T. Higgins put Cincy in front, and they kept in the lead for most of the game. But a long drive by the Rams brought them back, had them knock on the door with under 2 minutes to go. And remember that Cooper Kupp guy I mentioned earlier? Yeah, he wasn't done. This goal line fade put the Rams up for good as Cincinnati had one final drive to win or tie the game and send it into overtime. But pressure here from Rams star Aaron Donald on fourth down forced Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow to get rid of the ball, and that is how the Rams became the champs. And the UCO men's basketball team is the #1 seed in the MIAA conference tournament in Kansas City, Missouri, and will have a bye until the quarterfinals as they await the winner of Central Missouri versus Northeastern State in the 8-9 game. That game is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Thursday, and Central won their first regular season title since becoming a member of the conference a decade ago. A win in this tournament would also be their first postseason championship. UCO's record this season was 23-5 overall and 18-4 in conference. They boast the MIAA's most potent offense at 83 points per contest, and they are led by senior forward Isaiah Wade, and is nearly 19 points per game. If UCO were to reach the tournament's championship game, it would be the first time since 2014 when they fell to Missouri Southern. And the UCO women's basketball team also turns its focus to postseason play. They are the 7th seed for the MIAA conference tournament after a 16-12 season overall and a 12-10 record in conference. They will take on 10 seed Emporia State in round 1 of the tourney tomorrow at 2:15 p.m. It's the 9th consecutive conference postseason appearance for the Broncos, and they were able to sweep Emporia State this season, winning 2 very close games by just a combined 5 points. So the UCO men's basketball team begins play in the MIAA conference tournament tonight against Northeastern State at 6:00 p.m. in Kansas City, Missouri. The Broncos had a bye for the first round of the tourney as the 1 seed by virtue of winning the regular season conference crown, and it was quite a celebration when they clinched the title. University of Oklahoma announced the date for their spring football game yesterday, as it will be played on April 23rd. The school also announced that a statue will be unveiled for Heisman Trophy winner and former superstar quarterback Baker Mayfield. Mayfield won the award in 2017 and became a folk hero in the sport of college football while leading the Sooners to a Big 12 championship and a trip to the college football playoff. Mayfield followed that up by becoming the #1 overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft to the Cleveland Browns, and his statue will be in Heisman Park with OU's other winners of this prestigious award. Rodgers himself tweeted that he was remaining with the Packers, but that a new contract hadn't been agreed upon yet. This keeps Rodgers in Green Bay, the only franchise he's ever known, and potentially ends a saga that has stretched back to April of 2020. And finally, the Seattle Seahawks have agreed in principle to trade star quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. Wilson must waive his no-trade clause for the deal to go through, but the proposed trade involves Denver QB Drew Lock and other players on the Broncos, as well as a haul of draft picks going to Seattle in exchange for Wilson. Any and all moves made in the NFL at this time cannot become official until the new league year begins on March 16th, but by all accounts, this deal will be completed at that time, as one of the biggest names in the NFL is on the move.